Hello YouTubers out there, this is Jerry Saravia at the movies. Normally I do not post a topic on my blogger or deal with the news of a celebrity that's passed on, mostly because there's only so much you can really say, particularly if you're a fan of the celebrity in question, whether it's an artist of some kind, an actor, a director, whoever the case may be. I always feel that I don't know what else I can say, except it's always sad when someone dies, period. That's just the way it goes. And so I think the last time I even said something was about Whitney Houston a couple of years ago now, only because that death just seems so shocking, somewhat sudden in a way. Just she was too young to have passed on. And anyway, it's not something I ordinarily would do. I leave it to others to do that, and then you just share your condolences, particularly if it's somebody that you've always enjoyed watching in a film or on stage or wherever the case may be. A musician, you love their music, anything. Now, there have been a lot of deaths of celebrities this year, not the least of which was the last remaining Ramon had passed on a couple of weeks ago now. But Robin Williams passed away today at the age of 63. And this is somebody that it's almost too shocking to believe. And mostly because this is someone I grew up watching. I'm 43 years old, and I watched Morgan Mindy back in the 70s when it was first on television. And through the years I had seen Robin Williams in, who hasn't, in films like Moscow and the Hudson and The World According to Garp, and many films I actually need to rewatch at this point, especially Garp, which I haven't seen in ages, it seems. Awakenings, Good Morning Vietnam, Dead Poets Society. He showed his strength as a dramatic actor, not just as a funny man. But even in films like The Birdcage, or, the list goes on. There's so much, including his stand-up, and Saturday Night Live, and Comic Relief back in the day with Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal. And when he used to appear on the Academy Awards, well, he did frequently, and he would come on stage and make everyone laugh, because that was just his thing. Here's the interesting thing, aside from dramatic parts that he has played, there's not a single photo that I've seen, or an interview, or anything of that nature that I've glimpsed, where Robin Williams doesn't smile. He is always smiling. Dead Poet Society, even though it's technically a serious film, he does his impressions as I think everyone kind of expected Robin Williams to do, and his gift for mimicry. But the thing about him is that he always smiled. He always was out to make you laugh. I don't recall ever in an interview seeing Robin Williams, or in a talk show, being anything other than funny. Every single time. Even if it wasn't hilarious, he was funny. He had a special gift, because what he did was, maybe aside from his stand-up, but in general, when you saw him, like the Inside the Actor's Studio, for example, which was a 2-hour special hosted by James Lipton, Robin Williams, it's on a whim. The improvisation, it builds. It's one idea after another. It keeps revolving into something else and rotating and becoming something else. And he just knew how to do it. Most comedians can struggle with coming up with something to say if they're improvising. This guy just did it. It was almost like if it had been written. Like he just knew what to do. And how to make you laugh. And the last thing I want to say about him is, and why his death is so shocking, to me is, I remember, and it's a shame I don't have the clip, because I haven't always saved everything I've recorded on VHS, especially back in the 80s and 90s. But Ron Williams once gave an interview to Barbara Walters. It was in 1990. It was around the time that Cadillac Man was out in theaters. And Barbara Walters asked him and said, have you ever just been serious? Can you just be serious? And he said, yes, of course, hours at a time. But I don't want to. I want to play. It's more fun. It's more fun to play. So to see someone like that gone because of an alleged and an unfortunate, to hear a suicide, knowing that he had been battling depression and other things, it's still sad because it's Robin Williams. I mean, this guy was just active. He was funny. So for this genuine talent to be gone, and an excellent dramatic actor, I might add, as well, which I think audiences started to accept him as a dramatic actor. I think in ways that few other comedians were able to be accepted in making that transition. He's gone. It's just another light gone from the world. So I just had to say something. I mean, that's just hard to believe. So rest in peace, funny man. And this is Jerry Saravia at the movies, signing off.